All it takes is for me to get a good 2, and then I'll be ready to roll. We got 1. Give me 1 more. There we go. We got 2. Good to go. Good evening. Good evening. Happy Thursday. I'm a week late. I'm a week behind. I actually was supposed to go live and talk about toxic folks. But some things happen because life does that. And I'm kind of glad that life got in the way because now I have the opportunity to co-host with an individual that we actually had this conversation before. If I'm not mistaken, we had the conversation about a podcast way before I even thought to put this together. And I mean, he is the man for the job. I mean, he's a riot. I mean, he has me going through via text. I mean, we don't have to even be face to face. I mean, he's just good conversation. He's just a good time. So we're gonna get. Thank you very much. Enjoy your evening as well. We're gonna get this show on the road. I am going to invite Mr. Dez himself to this podcast. The topic of tonight's podcast is, are you toxic? Okay. The thing about it is, with being toxic, a lot of toxic people don't feel that they are toxic because they have a reason behind all the bad shit that they do, all the bad shit that they say. Just, they have excuses for why they do bad shit. Now, don't get me wrong. I don't think that you're born that way, but it happens. It definitely happens. And sometimes it can be provoked. I'm not exempt from being toxic in ways either. You know what I'm saying? But I'm going to go ahead and invite Dez to my lab so we can get started. I got some bullet points, of course. Understand these are all opinions. All opinions. This is what I think. And then once Dez get on, this is what he thinks. It's all about what we think, so we're not going to argue with folks in the comments about what we think. We're going to stand firm on our opinions, and you are more than welcome to chime in by commenting, and we'll get to it and read it. So let me go ahead and bring Dez on. Come on, Raphael. Don't let us down. It's adding.
What's up? How are you? What's
good.
going on? Man, I'm chilling, ready to get out the house.
You got your hookah ready?
I got it ready,
You got it ready?
A little chill vibe.
Yeah, we're going to tell these folks tonight. We're going to let these folks know if they're toxic or not.
I'm ready. We have these conversations all the time.
We do.
Every time I'm at my second home, which is Chicago. So
yeah,
I miss y'all.
We miss you too. We can't wait until this whole pandemic thing blows over and life is somewhat normal, whatever that is.
Right. So we can be in that backyard.
Yeah, of course. Miss that backyard.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go ahead
Absolutely.
and kick it off. The thing I love about having a co-host is that at any time, chime in, take over. Let the people know what you think. It's about you tonight. I'm following your lead, okay?
Well, let's go.
I'm going to kick it off, right? Now,
okay.
I pulled up an article, and the reason why I pulled up this article is because I read it before, and I actually agreed with some of the signs that kind of pinpoint toxic people, or what I believe are toxic folks. And one of the most critical ones is that toxic people, they typically are highly critical and think they are superior to everybody else.
Everybody else and everybody else and everything that everybody else is doing. Just all around, just have this better than next personality. But those type of people are the ones that are never happy within.
Absolutely.
So that's what I've learned. So
absolutely. And what I've learned about toxic people who I have run into, most toxic people are actually sensitive.
Absolutely, because they have, that's a guard that they hold up, against, from something in their past, whether it was a type of childhood they had or, certain relationships, you could get scarred for life. And, you walk around with this guard, that,
Mm-hmm.
and some people's guard is to be nasty, and toxic, to come off as this, this spiteful, hurtful person when really on the inside, it's them that's going through so much.
Absolutely, absolutely, and I've run into that more than once. And what I typically do with those folks, I ignore them. I ignore
Hmm.
them because the thing about toxic people is that they love what is that term people use? Misery loves company.
Absolutely.
So they love that. Sadly, in a lot of cases, that is a form of affection. That
Yeah.
is a form of showing that you love them, which is really sad. You know what I'm saying? Because love
Hmm.
shouldn't hurt. I'm a firm believer on that part
Absolutely.
right there.
But and some people just don't know how to show it. And I
Yeah.
think that's what, when you don't know how to do something, that frustrates you. That's with anything. If you,
Mhm.
when we was kids trying to learn a bike, when ride a bike, when you couldn't get it, you get frustrated. So, and you get mad. So,
Mhm.
when you don't know how to show love, you want to show love, but you just don't know how. It pisses you off.
Yeah, and being toxic, in a lot of cases, I believe, in my personal opinion, it comes from traumatic life experiences, upbringing. In most cases, toxic people, there's either a toxic parent involved or
Hmm.
just an overall toxic
Well,
environment.
like I always say, a toxic person wears different uniforms and hats. So,
Okay.
and when I say by uniform, I mean the uniform of a parent, the uniform of a
Mm-hmm.
sibling, a family member,
Mm-hmm.
a friend, a
Mm-hmm.
partner. They wear all these different uniforms. So you got to be able, to see through those uniforms and break down those barriers, and realize that, what, so it's okay. I don't have to deal with you because we have these blood ties, or because we have these
Oh
titles.
man, you better preach.
It's I'm not dealing with a toxic family member. I don't care what I'm that's in my life,
I would
I don't
cut
care
my
who you are.
grandma
That's
off.
not.
I would cut my grandma off. Don't you call up
Listen,
here on Thanksgiving no more.
especially if you're gonna show up on the holidays and ruin every holiday, you ruin the
Mm-hmm.
peace and everything. No, you gotta stay over there, love at a distance, and for me also with that type of energy, you gotta stay away from me because I don't like to become disrespectful and loud and
Oh
belligerent. Like I
man,
don't I don't
right.
want to do that.
Yeah, it's dangerous to match energies because like I found myself in situations and for the most part I'm cool, calm, and collected all the time. But those type of folks, they kind of round me up, and I don't like that because it's like
Hmm.
now I'm giving you power, So like I say, I typically will no ignore or like you said, you got to stay over there. You can't even come around me. Period.
You're not
Because you
welcome.
just kind of like you tank the environment. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just
Hmm.
like we hate to see you coming. We love you and we
Right,
try
but
to
it's just
include
like,
you, but
damn,
we
it's
hate to
just,
see you coming.
yeah, it's one of those phone calls, you're like, such and such over there. Well, I don't know, I might sit this one out because
I might.
sometimes those kind of people, they have they have their people that they just like. As soon as they see them, they have that one person that they
Mm-hmm.
ready to attack. I can't be that for nobody.
Yeah, me either. Me either. Another sign that you are toxic, or another bullet point I have, is that you never apologize or admit that you're wrong. You are
Oh,
never wrong.
never
Never
wrong, never,
apologize or admit that you're wrong.
never wrong. It's never no fault in what you did. I'm a big person of accountability. If
Mm-hmm.
you got to be able to take accountability for what you've done, to these people in the past, the current, in the current times. And people just
Mm-hmm.
really struggle with that, and I've struggled with it. I think we all struggle with accountability, you
Mm-hmm.
know. But yeah, some people just, no matter what they do, you have people that will apologize. They're not apologizing to you. They're apologizing because, oh, I'm sorry that you're upset because of what I
Yeah.
did. But I'm not sorry
Mm-hmm.
for what I did. I'm just
Yeah.
sorry
Because
that you feel that way.
right, I
Because
don't see anything
I'm
wrong with
still
what
gonna,
I did.
yeah, what I did wasn't wrong. I'm just sorry
Yeah.
you feel it hurt
Yeah.
your
I'm.
feelings. I'm sorry.
I'm gonna make a million excuses for being an ass. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
I'm not gonna own up to it. I'll think about it in the car, but because I am who I am, I'm not wrong, and because you did whatever, like
And
that's what I
in
tell.
some way, it's gonna be you that's wrong.
Yeah, it's you.
Well, you
It's you.
made me say that.
Always flipping the script.
You made me
Uh,
say that. You made me do that.
right. It's your fault. It's always the
Yeah.
other person's fault. It's always the
Mm-hmm.
other person's fault. Never theirs. Never theirs. They
Always.
are the closest thing to perfection. They are the closest thing to perfection. It's nothing better.
Yes.
There's
And you
nothing
know
better.
what?
And like I
You know
said,
what? And you
mhm.
know what? To me, what's really poisonous with those kind of people is the yes people that they have around them that supports that
Oh
behavior,
man.
because they always have a train. There's always somebody that's going to support, because they're always the victim. So there's always someone that's going to support the victim, and that's going to be, well, y'all, they such and such, or they going through, or y'all, that's what kills
Yeah.
me. Like,
Always an
don't
excuse to be shitty. They
I don't need the
giving.
cheerleaders.
Yeah. And the thing about it is, all they need is one. All they need is one.
And
All they
that's
need is
that's all
one
it takes is
cheerleader.
one.
One
Hmm.
person cheering that shit on, and they take it as far as they can and run with it. Run with it.
Absolutely.
It is always, you have people who are overly grown still blaming their toxic behavior on their upbringing, and it's like, at this point, there's no excuse for you being shitty. You know,
Absolutely.
you know right from wrong. We all understand things happen. I believe in certain things being carried in the blood, passed on in the blood, but
Oh,
you know that.
generational ties are definitely real.
Definitely.
Absolutely.
When you are, you just are bad energy because you heard
Hmm.
it more than once. And what
And you
happens
and you
is
know
that,
yourself. You know yourself better than anybody else.
yeah, definitely,
You know.
definitely.
You know that when you come around, people get standoffish. You know what type of energy you bring in the room.
Hmm.
You're aware of that.
But you
You
know
know
what they
that.
tell themselves? You know what those folks tell themselves?
It's them.
They're
It's the
being
other
hated
people.
on. They're being
Yeah,
hated on.
they're being
Yeah.
hated on. People, don't nobody like them. Or,
Yeah. People can't
yeah,
take them. People can't take
yeah,
them.
yeah.
Yeah, they're the
That's
best
it.
of the best. It gets no
Hmm.
better. You can't. I mean, they can't take me. I mean, I was the sharpest one in there.
Yeah. So what?
Yeah, the ridiculousness. And like I say, I've come face to face with it. And those type of people, I more so feel sorry for than
Yeah.
upset. I feel sorry because the thing about it is that you are on a road to being alone. If you, in
Hmm.
most cases, you're going to end up alone, or you're going to find somebody exactly like you.
Yes.
And I mean, it's just going to be a fucking hurricane. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're
Hmm.
gonna be able, you're gonna meet yourself, you're gonna meet your match, and what happens is it's just chaotic. And then what you do is
Yeah.
now you're gonna
It's just
now
a
you're gonna
poisonous
bore these
circle.
toxic children, and
Hmm.
you just gonna
Hmm.
keep you're gonna
And it's
keep
just
keep
gonna
keep it
create.
going.
It's just gonna trickle down. It's gonna trickle down to the
Yeah.
kids, the grandkids, and and it does, like you said, it leads to a life of loneliness. And
Mm-hmm.
I don't think people realize until they are older. Like, damn, I don't have nobody.
And
You
nobody,
know,
nobody,
I don't have
nobody.
nobody, and it's sad that sometimes they still don't realize it.
Still don't realize it, and we see it a lot. Sometimes, and you never can judge a book by its cover. So I'm not judging, but this is just my take on it. Like when I'm just like at a grocery store or I'm riding down the street and I see like a senior citizen and they just have absolutely like no help,
Don't it break
or
your heart?
it breaks my
Hmm.
heart. But it always makes me wonder. I wonder what kind of person was he or she to
Because,
end up like that.
because you mean to tell me in those elderly years, there hasn't been anyone that came along to be there for you. There hasn't been
Mm-hmm.
no one. Like, so what type of person were you to where people are, even when you are elderly, that they don't even want to come take you to the grocery
They don't
store?
want to be bothered. And
You
and
know,
it,
like,
and I know, yeah, I know that's not the case for everybody, but
hmm,
that is just like a good example because my mind automatically goes there. Like, what could you have possibly done as to where you are out here barely able to walk and nobody wants to help you? Now it could
nobody.
be that you're just super independent, but in most cases, I believe. Yeah, I understand they don't want people helping them, but that's not always the case, though.
That's not
I'm
always the
reading off
case.
the comments. It's not
Everybody,
always the case.
and I can't see the comments, but I'll say on that. That's nobody. Nobody wants to be alone. So I don't
Mm-hmm.
believe that, of course, we're all independent in a way. Yes, independency, you got to have it. But at the end of the day, nobody wants to have nobody,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
like, to just
And I
have
don't
no.
think people were. I don't think humans were created to be alone.
No, of course
I
not.
don't think so. And I'm not just saying like, oh, we should have husband and wives. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying some form of a relationship that
Some
where
form
you're
of a
elevating
relationship.
each other. Any form,
Hmm.
whether it be a friendship, a sistership, whatever. You know what I'm saying? To where you are helping each other elevate. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
You are positive energy for each other. I think that every person
Yes.
is made to have a person, somebody. You
Yeah, we
know,
all got
so
to have that person. And that person, like you said, it doesn't have to be a spouse
mhm.
or a partner. That person could be anybody for you.
It
You
could
know what I'm
be
saying?
anybody,
So,
anybody.
you know,
Another thing that I agree with, in reference to this article, is that toxic people, they take advantage of other people's kindness.
oh, yeah. Oh, absolutely. And
Womanizers, manipulators, just all around
they
users.
they just run over you. They just run
Mm-hmm.
over you and back up and run over you again and drive around in a
Mm-hmm.
circle and run over you one more time
One
until
more.
you just completely just
And
flat.
you can be all that they have. You can
Hmm.
be all that they have. They
Oh,
will
yeah.
they will just continue to be that person.
Hmm.
Whether it doesn't matter if you have brought the moon to their front door.
Oh, yeah. It
They
doesn't
will come.
matter what, because it still would not be enough. You brought
Yeah,
that moon to the front door, but you didn't bring it close enough. It's like
absolutely right. It's something wrong
it's
because remember
still not
everybody
enough.
else is wrong. Remember, everybody else is wrong. There's
Everybody's
always
wrong.
something wrong in what you do, and they'll like half-ass like give you credit, like I appreciate the meal, but you could have added a little bit more salt.
There you go.
That's like
Yeah.
telling somebody. That's like telling somebody like this right here, and people say it all the time, and I know if people mean well, but when people say you look cute today, so how the fuck did I look
Yeah. So how did
yesterday?
I look yesterday?
Right,
You
or
know,
the day
well,
before that.
yeah.
Just
How did
tell
I
me I
look
look
then?
cute. Keep the
Just say
time
I look
frame right
nice.
now.
Yeah. Like,
But
damn, was I looking ran over the other day? I might have been, but
might have
you
been,
know,
might have
might
been,
have been,
might have
but
been,
yeah.
might have been. But if that's the case, tell me I look cute Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday. Then
Right.
but let's talk about what we think some of our toxic traits are. You think you have any
Ooh,
toxic traits?
I don't have any. I'm perfect.
Yeah, I do. I believe it.
Not
I
a,
think you are. I think you are.
um,
So I love you.
I love you. um, do I have? I think I could be very standoffish, in certain
Mm-hmm.
situations. Um, I have a lot of them. It's hard for me to pinpoint on them, but I can
Mm-hmm.
admit that I definitely have some. You
Mm-hmm.
know, I'm a very my way or the highway type of person, which is, don't always work out. I've had that issue with friends, anybody, like, so that's
Mm-hmm.
definitely a big one. Um, shit, hell, a lot of them that I can't, but I think, the basis of it is to just admit that I know that they're there, you
And
know.
that's the awesome part of it, because I mean
Mm.
most toxic people, I wouldn't call you a toxic person, you know, but most toxic people, they can't admit that, they don't
Oh
get it.
no, no, I'm
They don't
good,
understand why crowds move
I'm,
around when they come around. They
yeah,
don't get it.
yeah,
They don't
exactly.
get it. Yeah,
So
they
what
don't
are
get it.
yours?
What of mine? I am very. You can't tell me shit. In most cases, like
No, that's
I,
me too.
you had, you have to speak to me from a personal experience. You
Hmm.
can't speak to me from a shoulda, coulda, woulda. You can't even speak to me from what you saw somebody else go through. Um, I can be, like, sometimes I say what I'm thinking, and I probably shouldn't. You know,
I wear what I'm thinking on my face.
yeah,
My
right.
friend, and you've seen it before. My friends are always
Yeah.
like, Desmond, why are you looking
Oh
like that?
yeah.
And I just be like, and I'll be like, looking like what? Like, I'm just standing here. And they be like, no, like, the
Yeah,
look
but
on your,
yeah, I can admit those. I can, and I've always, like, I remember going back and forth with teachers in grammar school. Like my mom, because me and my mom, we're not that far apart in age.
right, I remember that.
So it really was with her. No pun intended. Mom was like, "Girl, you, you're my grandma. You don't know." You know what I'm saying? Like, And then it got to the point with grandma, like, girl, you don't know, so
Right,
I can
yeah.
admit that, and if I feel like you don't know what you're talking about, I'm going to be quiet. I'm not going to
Hmm.
say a word because I'm not going to agree with you when you're done.
Oh
But
no,
I'm not going to
no.
say a word. I'm not going to say a word.
I also, I know I can admit it. I have a mouth. Like I have a mouth that is can, I come from. I think it just it's embedded in me. I'm the first boy in my family, so all these women, so they have these crazy ass mouths. So it's like
Mm-hmm.
so I could cut you so deep with my words. Sometimes that I
Mm-hmm.
just have to sit back and be like, damn, do I really have to say that afterwards? And then I'm
Uh-huh.
just like, well, shit, it said, but
It's
so,
sad.
but
It's
yeah,
sad.
that I know I got a mouthpiece. Like that is everybody. Like I know it. So
But yeah, but the good thing about it is that like when I met you, I was just drawn to you. You know what I'm saying? It was just something about you. You know how you meet people and it's just like, I mean, I can't even put a time stamp because I just feel like you've been around forever.
forever,
And
but
I
it
just
has
like,
been, but it really has been a long time though.
it's been a
Actually,
long time.
I had came across a pic. One of my Facebook memories popped up, and I think this might have been the first time that I came to Chicago with Shadon.
Hmm.
And I think this was like 2011, so this is like 10 years,
Yeah, yeah.
So it was one of Auntie's parties. It was everybody on the deck in the backyard. So
Hmm.
it's been a very long time, but what's also amazing is that how, I mean, with you, like it was just like soon as we met, it was like some type of just jail,
Yeah, that I feel
like
the same way.
like
It's like when I'm coming, it's like, is there in there? Is he?
because
I want to
I'm
hear
a
him in the. I want to hear him in the background. I don't want him on his way. I want to hear him in the background,
right there, and I would be right there,
right there. So
right
yeah,
there.
and it's just the energy is always good. It's always
Hmm.
good. I mean, we are human. And we have traits. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely, and we
Nobody is
have
perfect.
flaws. We
Yeah,
have
we have flaws.
flaws.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nobody is perfect, but the reason why we even talking about this now is because people capitalize off being toxic, and that,
Hmm.
and it's just not. It's so not good. It's not good
It's
for one
not.
because it just look at Leslie. Leslie say you get on her nerves.
I haven't done anything to Leslie.
You say you get on her nerves. Leslie's
Leslie's the
like,
toxic of the toxic.
Leslie, you hear him? We said you the
Yeah.
toxic of the toxic. I don't want to believe him. I don't believe that. I don't
That's a
believe
mean
that.
little lady right there.
Yeah, Leslie is. Don't play with her. I love Leslie. I love that. Don't play with her. Don't play with her. But like with these toxic folks, they never compromise, and compromise is so important in any relationship. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. And you got to understand and respect people for who they are. And I
Mm-hmm.
think that's an issue with people. We can't accept people who are different from us and who
Yeah.
have different views, on life from us. We don't, instead of sitting down with that person and trying to understand who they are, we turn it into, well, why you like that? Or,
Mm-hmm.
we don't give people a chance to understand who they are. When I say who they are, I'm not just talking about someone's sexuality or someone's
Mm-hmm.
beliefs. It's just that we're all different before any of that. So, you
Mm-hmm.
got to understand people, and give yourself a chance to understand what type of person, each person is that come into your life.
Yeah. And how boring would the world be if we were all the same?
Oh God.
How boring would the world be if we were all the same?
Horrible.
You know. Yeah, absolutely. So the thing about it is, when we say what we're saying, the way Dad just broke it down and explained it, why we all different, that doesn't mean be toxic. You don't. That is something you do not have to be. If you do not have to be that, because for one, it's just like, regardless of how great you may think life is, at the end and beginning of the day, you have to live with that guilt. You are the person counting those broken relationships. You're
Yeah.
always arguing. arguing. You're always in the midst of some madness, and like, who wants to live like
It's
that?
never no peace. It's never no
Yeah,
peace. Every time your phone ring or every time you call somebody, they looking at their phone. It's people that'll call me. I'm gonna stare at my phone like, do I want to do this or do I want to not do this? What we gonna do? Like, like, don't be that
and you want
person.
to be supportive, but it's just like I don't have, especially like if my day is not going so good, I can't tolerate the madness. Like
Hmm.
I'm to a point like you cannot call me and just be gossiping. I love a good laugh. I love a girl. Did you see?
It's different types of gossip.
Mm-hmm,
Like the gossip that me and my circle do. We gonna laugh. It's funny shit. I
mm-hmm.
think now, we done all been through certain life experiences. You gotta think about us, we well into our 30s now. Some
Yeah,
of us getting close to 40. So, we done had life experience that certain things like you don't even want to gossip about because that hurt, that pain.
absolutely,
So,
absolutely, and it just falls under that never say never because
hmm
like I can tell you a million things that I sat down with my homies and talked about at the lunch table in ninth and 10th grade,
it
and
said
half of that shit
we ain't
I
gonna
have
do this.
done. I
Yes,
would never.
I
Half
would
of it I've
never,
done.
I would
So
never, or I'm gonna
I
do this, I'm gonna do that. What?
I do my best not to judge. I'm so far from perfect. You know what I'm saying? And I know that, and I do my best not to judge. I try to take a stroll in a person's shoes to kind of get an understanding on why you do what you do. I have one of the things that I have learned over the years is to agree to disagree, and
Oh
I'm big
yeah.
on that because I'm so firm on my own opinion. But I'm not
hmm
gonna force it on you, though. You know what I'm saying?
And
I, go ahead.
I'm big on it because I don't like to argue. I
Me
don't
either.
like that shit. Like now, I'm just at a point where like you
Hmm.
got it. Like I don't. If I gotta argue with you, if I, and it's different type of arguments. You argue, go back and forth with your friends, but I'm talking, and, if you're in a relationship, you have your day-to-day disagreements. But I'm talking about those arguments, you disrespecting one another, calling,
It's cutthroat.
cussing,
It's
screaming,
cutthroat.
all
Mm-hmm.
that.
And
Somebody in tears, you done lost your voice.
certain things,
I
certain
don't want to do
things
that
you
with nobody.
say, yeah, certain things you say, certain argument, you can't come back from it. You can't come back from it because you have people, toxic folks, that they go for the jugular.
Oh yeah,
You are,
they know exactly what to say, what
yeah,
button to push to get you where they want. And once they got you there, it's like they won the game.
yeah, they low blow. They low
Mm-hmm.
blow. And then they expect things to go back the same, to being the same. And it's like,
Okay.
when
Well,
you
and
care
then what
for a
happens?
person,
What happens is down the line. That's when they become that victim.
yeah,
All they don't. I don't know what's going on. They don't call or, you
well,
know.
I said that because you said that. And
Yeah.
it's like I didn't go nowhere near as low as you went. Like it's never, like you say, they are always the victim. It is never their fault. It is never
Mm-mm.
their fault. And everything is provoked. They don't kick it off, and they manipulative, and it's just such a bad time. And the worst thing to me is when you get a person where you can see so much, see the potential in
The
them.
potential. Yeah.
But it's just like I can't continue to be sucked dry because it's just like your good outweighs the bad. And
Yeah.
my grandmother, when I was younger, she had me on a piece of paper, draw a line down the middle. I forget what kind of graph that was called in grammar school. And she told me to do my pros and cons. I
Mm-hmm.
kid you not. This had to be 20 some years ago. And I live by this to this day. She said, if your
Yeah.
bad outweighs your good, get out of the situation. No matter what it
Yeah. No
is.
matter what it is, if you and that's with anything. Like you said, no matter what it is, if you can come up with more bad than good, it's not for you.
It's not. It's not. It's not. And it is draining. Relationships with those type of people are draining. And this is one thing I said that I was going to teach my daughter because we live in a society where, everybody, everything is just, is censored, and everybody's overly sensitive. You can't say things, you can't feel a certain way. And I said
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to teach my daughter and son because this is we're talking about men and women.
Yes.
So that's why it's so important to me. Like when I co-host, I love to co-host with the opposite sex
Hmm.
because this opinion is coming from. I'm not biased. You know
Right,
what I'm
right.
saying? I'm not talking about only women or only men. I'm talking about people,
Everybody, people,
people.
yes.
And I said I was gonna teach my son and my daughter. You date within your mental health bracket.
Hmm. Hmm.
Date within your mental health bracket. It's so there are so many broken people, and it's unfortunate. And I
Especially in our community, you
yeah.
know, it's mental health is so swept under the rug in our community
Mhm.
that you know when it finally comes out when this person is all the way gone, it's
Mhm.
just like, and then we look at it as, well, what happened to them? Nobody,
Yeah.
you don't wake up overnight and be crazy. You
Yeah.
don't wake up overnight, and that just comes from it being ignored, from our parents and our grandparents, because back then, it wasn't black people wasn't depressed or wasn't, you
Mhm.
just need to go to church and and
Go to,
pray,
all right. Go to sleep.
drink
You
some
know,
ginger ale,
drink absolutely.
or get a
Drink some
cup of
olive
water.
oil, all that good stuff. But it's like to piggyback off what you were saying. Absolutely. So what happens is that you grow up, you're broken, right? So, your parent, they may pass on to the next life, or, you're just an adult. But you're out in the world, and what happens is a male or female that don't come from that same kind of background, y'all are attracted to each other.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
then what happens is now we are left to deal with these broken people, because there was no one to try and fix it at the get-go.
Hmm. Hmm.
And the thing about it is that you don't want to be judgmental. You don't want to, single people out. But it's down there these days, like you have to do an interview,
Yeah, and a
and
background
I
check.
don't. I don't take myself as being a broken person. I didn't grow up in a two-parent home, but I knew my dad. My mom was always there. I had that big mama in the house, which is grandma. And I
Hmm.
had my auntie. It was like my mom. I had all that. So I feel like I'm well-rounded. So what happens is when you get with these people that didn't come from that type of background and they don't understand it, and it just, it's
That disconnect
hard.
is there.
Yeah,
Hmm.
the disconnect is there, and it's hard being in relationships with these kinds of people. It is
Hmm.
a tug of war, but you love them. You can't help
Hmm.
that you love them,
Of
but
course, you
it's
can.
a struggle. It's a struggle,
Hmm.
and you find yourself matching that toxic energy,
Yeah, because it
and
starts
it's
to feed
just,
off into you.
yeah.
Starts to feed off into you because that's why I said it's mental health is important. Like you gotta, if you see it in your kids, especially
Hmm.
at a young age, you know, you gotta nip that shit in the bud, or get them the help that they need,
Yeah,
and that's and our community is not done, and that's
it's not.
that's so unfortunate.
It's
It's so
not. It's
unfortunate.
not. It's not. But I did say, had a conversation with them. I don't take them. They're not in a. They're in a single parent home. But I
You do
don't take
such a
them to
good
be.
job with them, though.
Thank you very much. I don't take them to be broken. You know what I'm saying? Because they can't really know what they don't miss. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm sure it's going to affect them in some shape, form, or fashion as
Oh,
they get older.
absolutely, it will.
I'm sure that it's going to, but right now I don't see it, not yet. And maybe it's just I don't see it. Maybe somebody else can see what I don't
Mhm.
see.
Mhm.
But it's just like, it's okay to, be like, you are a great person, but and I pray that you get the help that you need, but I can't take that on. I can't take
No,
that on.
I can't. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I don't have. I can't deal with it.
Yeah, I don't have, you look up 20 years from now and now you hate this person,
Yeah,
but you've endured it for so long.
and now you
And
hate them.
now
And
you hate them
you laying next to somebody that you hate.
that you hate,
That's a
that you hate.
crazy. That's a crazy feeling.
And you get 3, 4 kids by this person that you hate. So now you have passed
So
and
now
said
you
it's going to be
stuck.
a life of
You
hate.
just stuck in a life full of hate.
Yeah, and we do it all the time. And do I think it can be reversed? If you want it, if you can pinpoint, if you can admit, I do got some fucked up ways. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? I mean, you're probably not gonna be scot free from it, but just catch yourself.
Yeah, catch yourself, know yourself.
Yeah.
Be able to be like, you know what, the first thing, ownership. I don't want to be
Mhm.
like, you know what, I did say some fucked up shit, or, that was a bad move I made.
Mhm.
Own that. That's the first step. It's
Yeah.
ownership. Just own it. You did what you
Hmm.
did, and whether you can fix it or not, you know what I'm saying? Just make the attempt to.
Yeah, and then just don't go around severing ties with people.
Yeah,
A lot of
you got
times,
these people running around the world terrorizing people with all this horrible behavior. Like, get yourself together. Every relationship or friendship or any type of relationship, you acting a fool, running people away. Like, get yourself together.
but it's just everybody else's fault. And I like to tell people like that, you are the most common denominator. No two people are really the same.
No,
But if
no.
you got 5 or 6 of us or them telling you the same thing, then you need to do some soul searching.
hmm Well,
Especially,
like I was always taught, everybody don't tell the same lie. So
tell me about it.
everybody don't tell the same lie. So it's some truth in there.
Yeah, it's definitely it's a lot of truth in it, and it's just like, nip it in the bud. Catch your kids, catch your
hmm
children. You know what I'm saying when you see it, because like I'll be honest, as a mom, I'm already seeing it in that little girl of mine.
Oh God, her beautiful that skin, that complexion. That's that is a beauty motto in the making.
She is
Not motto, motto.
one of the prettiest things I ever did see, but that attitude he won't have me.
But look who she just like.
But no, I am like the way you see me. I am always like this.
You
Anybody can
are. You
tell
so
you that.
chill every
Me and
time.
her are total opposite, and it's like, sweetie, what are you mad about? This has to be passed down from the blood somewhere. What are you upset about,
Cause I'm
sweetheart?
chilling.
Right, I'm chilling, and you're mad. You know what? You stay mad in that room, but just like what you said, get them the help that they need.
hmm
Have these conversations, because it is time, because I don't want to push her off into the world like that.
And
And I can be the
have
first to
certain
admit it.
conversations with your children. There was a lot of conversations that wasn't had with me.
Me too.
That I didn't have. That could have possibly changed. Changed a lot for me as an adult.
Hmm.
Have those conversations with your kids. How you feeling? You know what I'm saying? Like, are you okay? You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Like,
because we came from that era, especially us 80s babies, early 90s, not deep 90s. That's a whole different
no,
breed.
yeah, the early
Early 90s.
92 and down, 92 and down.
I can't even say 92.
91.
90?
I would just go ahead and just say the 80s. What
80s. Yeah,
we can go for 90.
yeah.
I don't know. 90 just
No,
don't seem
80s.
like
We're gonna
30
keep it
some
at
years
80s.
ago to me.
We're gonna keep it at 80s, but we in that era, and I'm sure you can attest to this, and a lot of people, we didn't have a voice.
Oh no, as a
We
kid
didn't
you
have a
didn't have no
voice.
voice.
You
You
better
know,
not say. And my grandmother was in the house, like you can even tell her food was nasty. You
there's
don't sit there and
yeah.
force me to eat this shit. I
And I
don't
can't
like it.
stand it. I don't like it, but I can't. If I tell you I don't like it, I'm gonna get my ass beat.
I mean, yeah, exactly. We didn't have a voice.
You were not allowed. It was
Mm-mm.
you a kid. You don't have no say in nothing.
You didn't have
No,
an opinion. You
and
know what? It didn't matter. What
and
you said didn't matter.
I'm so happy that our generation is not raising our kids that way, because to have allow your children to have a voice. I take my hat off to one of my cousins. She
Mhm.
has a grown son and then a younger one who's 14 or 15. And she allows him to have that voice and to be who he want to be, and do what you want to, not, of course there's rules, but you know what I'm
Right.
saying, like, you're allowed to have that voice. And I tell her all the time, like, I just love how you are with him, because that wasn't allowed in the household that I grew up. That wasn't allowed. Like, it was a straight line. There was no voice to be had
Yeah.
as a
No. I mean,
child.
anything you said, whether you were right in correcting them, I mean, it was
You being
it was wrong.
disrespectful.
You were
Yeah.
being disrespectful. Absolutely,
hmm
it was wrong. My grandmother is from the South. My mother wasn't really like that, but like I said, because I have such a young mother. You typically know how that goes, especially when the grandmother is in the house. So you
Right.
kind of, to a certain extent, are being raised as sisters, you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
until you branch off, So it's really like grandma rules. So, like a lot of things that have been instilled in me came from my grandmother. My
hmm
mom, once my grandmother moved out of town when I made like maybe like 17, then my mom was like on the forefront of everything. So that's when things kind of changed. Things kind of changed. I kind of, to a small extent, took advantage of that. Like, oh, I can say some shit now.
Yeah, yeah. Because now,
But
because I'm looking at you like as a sister, so it ain't much you
right.
can say to me.
Yeah,
It's
but
like my.
when I look back on that, and even to this day, at 35, almost 36 years old, I have to tell my grandmother sometimes. I have to, first of all, I have to give her a disclosure. I'm not trying to disrespect you, but grandma, that's not right.
Yeah, I'm grown now.
Yeah,
You have to let them know I'm an adult.
yeah,
So I don't have to. I don't have. I don't have to deal with that. I could go home to my own
yeah,
place. I don't have
yeah.
to
And
deal with that.
I'll have
Right.
to listen to it.
Yeah.
I'll tell them because it has been a couple times the conversation get heated. I'll say, I'm about to hang up now.
Oh,
So it won't be that I'm hanging up in your face. I'm about to hang up now because
and
I don't have to listen to this now. You're
I'll
going
talk to
too
you
far.
later. I'll talk to you later.
Right. And
I
I love you and you have a good evening.
Yeah, I don't have. I said I have nothing to argue with my mother about today. Nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing serious to that point where it's on a disrespectful point. Because
Yeah,
I'm grown, I have my own place, I pay my own bills. Like, what do we have to argue about? Like,
absolutely. Absolutely. I'm just gonna go home where I can do what the fuck I want to do.
right.
And then we'll go ahead and we'll eliminate that. But I remember as a kid though, just being flipped. I tried it a lot. I used to would try it, but like I just couldn't even at 36, almost 36 years old. I just couldn't do it. I wouldn't do it. I'm not arguing with my mom.
Mm-mm.
I'm just not doing it.
For what? I
Yeah,
don't know how that to do. Like, that's dead. That's
yeah,
dead. Lady, I'll call you later.
exactly. If you're having a good day, I'm gonna wish you the best.
Yeah.
And then I'll probably go there. I'm gonna wish you the best.
I'm gonna get something smart. I'm gonna get something
Yeah,
smart off. But
and I'm gonna let you go. I'm gonna
yeah,
let you go.
I'm gonna get something smart off, but then I'm gonna let you go
Yeah, I'm gonna let you go.
before you were able to come back with yours. The phone call was over.
Right. Absolutely.
Yes.
But yeah, you toxic folks, I know it's a lot of y'all, I've been seeing people tuning in and out. And a lot of stuff that we touched on, like I said, is only our opinion, but it's common, and we are talking about what we see. These are
Mm-hmm.
not topics or we're not pulling shit out of thin air. We're talking about what we see, and no,
Mm-hmm.
we are not the toxic police,
No,
but
not at all.
I definitely feel like that Desmond is a good vibe, so I support his opinion with what he feels is toxic. You know what I'm saying? Because
Mm-hmm.
it's like I said, we come from two different parts of the globe and we get together for the first time 10, 11 years ago, and we had a funky good time.
Funky
You
good
know,
time.
we had a
Funky good
funky
time.
good
And
time.
still do every time.
Every
Every
every time.
I'm gonna try to convince Auntie to see if we can have some time. She ain't
Yeah,
going.
she hokey.
She,
Go.
you see, she said the other day, talking about I've got both shots of the vaccine, and I still ain't. I'm like, Auntie, well,
We,
we could.
we could probably do a Zoom call, but
She like no,
nothing in person. But
but
yeah,
it's
so it's like, people who have chimed in and people who are going to chime in later, because for
mm,
whatever reason you had other things going on and you couldn't tune in. Check yourself. Check yourself because the thing about it, it's not a good thing. It is not a good thing. It's just bad negative energy and it brings, those bad and negative repercussions. Karma is a
yes.
real thing.
Oh,
It is a real
definitely.
thing. And I mean, no matter how great you may think life is going for you, karma kicks you up in your ass.
Hell yes. It will
And
come
then,
bite you. You would think, and see, and that's the thing, karma don't give you no warning, no type of nothing. Everything will be going so good, and it hits you. You be like, damn, what happened?
mm-hmm. And
And
then
it's
you
just
got these
like, karma
toxic,
is just like, remember you did such and such and such and such.
yeah, you
This
got
is
toxic folks, and the first thing they holler is, "Why me?"
why me.
And I'm in the
You know
background
why
like
you.
I'm in the
You know
background
why.
like why not you?
Yeah. I'm back there. I'm doing what it is like.
Why not you?
Well, who
Okay.
else? Who else should it have been?
Well,
Certainly not
exactly.
me.
I mean, you can't possibly be happy with that. You know what I'm
They're
saying?
not
Like,
though. They're not. They're not. And like I said, we all know those people. We all got them in our lives, and they're
mm-hmm.
not happy. They're not. And one, it hurts because you do feel sorry for those people.
Yeah,
You do,
yeah,
and that's how they're able to continue their hurt on others because you'll feel sorry for them and you'll try. You give them chance after chance after chance until it's just like what I refuse. Like
yeah, yeah. I just can't, And like I made a post earlier about stability and just a large part of that is like I don't like madness. Like you say, you don't like to argue me either. I
hmm
don't want to argue. I don't like to argue because, it makes me feel a certain way,
It affects you
about
physically.
you. Right.
If you
Yeah.
have a headache,
Yeah.
heart,
Like it's
chest,
just like,
chest,
come
heart
on
beating
now.
off, like God.
And then especially if it's a consistent thing. I don't always want to argue with you. You know what I'm saying?
hmm
Eventually I'm gonna push you away. You
Yeah,
know.
and you won't be able to argue with me anymore.
Yeah, you
You
can't argue with
you
me
got to
now.
find a new punching bag. Like
Yeah.
I don't want to do that. Life is too fun, and then it's too short. Like
Mm-hmm.
life is too short to spend all of your time arguing and fighting and fussing with somebody. Like life is too precious. We only get one of them, as far as we know.
Mm-hmm.
So we only get one of them, and to spend it fighting and arguing with somebody back and forth, and just because this person, like I said, wears these different uniforms, you think that you have to deal with them because they're a mother, a father, a sister, a brother. You don't.
You
You
don't.
know, you don't.
You don't. You don't. I preach that all the time. I told that to my mother before, because, you know, going back to what I said about us 80s babies not having a voice. And for a long time, my grandmother, she would, the conversation would be, more so of her talking at you.
Yeah,
And I
talking
couldn't
at you.
stand that,
Yeah, I hate that.
than talking to you and just like dictating. And it
hmm
just was like, you know what, grandma, and I love my granny to death because, like I
hmm
say, my granny was there and my granny has a lot to do with the woman that I am today. But it was just like at that point, it was like, you know what, granny, I remember you doing this when I was a kid and
hmm
I didn't have a voice, so I really couldn't defend myself.
hmm
And my mom would be right there, but my mom really couldn't
Was a
defend me. And
kid
it just
herself.
right. And don't get me wrong, it's not like I was being verbally abused, So
hmm
I don't want people to get that, but it was just like there were times where they were wrong. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? They were absolutely wrong, and you like I said, you just didn't have that voice. So when I get older, and it was just too many times and it was piling up to the point where I was getting fed up. It was like, you know what? I'm going to give you 50 feet, grandma.
hmm hmm
Grandma, head of my, well, I won't say head of my life like she Jesus Christ, but the woman that was there, you
Yeah,
know what I'm
yeah, I
saying?
know what you mean.
And I had to give my
Yeah.
granny, who I love dearly, 50 feet.
And you could do that respectfully.
Respectfully, and
That
that's
could
what
be
I
done
did.
respectfully.
And it
And
worked.
yeah.
And it worked.
hmm
And it worked. So now we have adult conversations. I still feel like I have a place. I am still granddaughter. I am not
Well,
her
of
superior.
course.
So
Yeah,
I
that's
still, I'm gonna respect her as such,
yeah.
but now she more so respects me as a woman. So we
hmm
have, we're having conversation now. It's not like a dictatorship,
hmm
where she's do this, that, because it would come off like that.
hmm And the
Nothing
sad
you
part
ever
about
did was
it,
good enough.
the sad part about it, some people, even when the children are grown, they still don't know how to do that.
Still don't.
It's still that dictatorship. It's still
Still.
that talking at you, talking to you like you are a child.
Mm-hmm.
And as an adult, that's when you just be like, okay, you know what? Nah, you know,
Yeah. Yeah. And
that
then,
50 feet becomes 100 feet.
100 feet. But now then it's you're acting funny, you're not coming around as much. But it's like, listen, I'm living my best life and I get along with everybody, but yeah.
Yeah, so I'm not gonna come.
Right.
I'm
But
not gonna
yeah.
come.
So
You not.
compared
I'm
now
not about
to
to come. You're not about to blow my high. You're not about to bother me with your bullshit. No, I'm not gonna come.
exactly, I'm not giving you the time or the energy. So
Mm-mm.
but yeah, I mean it's out there. I mean, and it's not a disguise. You see it. People
Mhm.
see it. You know, a lot of people, and like you say, the yes men, the people who make excuses for it. You have the
Yeah.
mothers that make excuses for their toxic children. You even have people in relationships that make excuses for their toxic partners. You
Yeah.
know, just like their toxic friends. You know, like no,
No, that
it's
shit's not
no,
okay. And
yeah, it's no excuse
I
for
can't
that.
say I hate the yes man more than the toxic person. Well, I
The
don't want to
yes,
use the word
the
hate,
yes
but
man is the worst.
that's the worst because you don't see anything wrong in this behavior. You agree with it. You know, it's
Mhm.
fine to you. You know, it's
And the
normal to
whole
you.
time, that toxic person is manipulating you. They're taking your kindness for a weakness. You know, it's like I'm watching them rip you up, you
And you
know,
just
and look
and
you
you
to
just
pieces.
allowing it. Hmm.
Yeah, and it's not that serious to have whatever form of relationship you feel like you have. You need to break that chain. Or, yes, man,
Mm.
you tell them, hey, you know, you tripping. You shouldn't have said that.
Hmm.
You don't need to be doing that. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
definitely tell them. You know what I'm saying? Like, tell them. And I mean, they're either going to take it for what it's worth or they are going to move around. Either way, that's
Or they're
good
gonna
for
find
you.
another yes man. You
Yeah.
know, that's what
Either
they
way,
just.
it's good for you. Either way.
Hmm. Yep. Absolutely.
Either way. You have to be able to, I think it is very healthy to be able to voice your opinion. And when I say voice your opinion, I say voice it in most cases when you're asked for it, you know,
Hmm.
but when I say, you know, if you feel like somebody going off on the deep end, you know, they're doing some things that are hurtful, then I really feel like it's okay to be like, hey, you know, sis, bro, you tripping, you know
Hmm.
what I'm
And I
saying?
feel that if I can't tell you that, if I can't tell you, you know, one of my friends like, bitch, what are you doing? Like, you know, if I can't, that means that we don't, you know, or if you feel that you can't say it to me, you
Mm-hmm.
know, because we all do fucked up shit. So, you know, if you feel that you can't say, that's why I love, you know, I'm so thankful about, you know, my circle of friends. You know, we can tell one another, you know, or, you know, we could tell one another, why are you doing that? Or, you know, you need to get your shit together. Like, it,
Mm-hmm.
that's what, because if you don't have that, that's not a real relationship, you know.
It's not. It's not. It's not. It's not real. It's not good. It's just, I mean, and it's not conducive to health. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Like all that shit, you know, and I talk about health a lot, you know, just, you know, speaking from a personal experience now, you know, seeing some shit I never thought I would see in life. And it's
Hmm.
a lot. You know what I'm saying? Just your bad behavior, your bad mannerism, your bad demeanor, all of that can contribute to health problems. And it's not
Hell
that
yes.
serious.
Yes.
You know,
It
it's
takes so much out of you to be nasty and hateful. Like that's an exhausting ass life. It
mm-hmm,
takes so much energy to be mad and hateful towards somebody.
mm-hmm. And then
Because I mean,
you end up like we see, you end up alone. You
I
end up
know
alone.
one of those ladies at the grocery store by herself that you said, yeah,
By herself.
you
By
know.
herself. And we know that's not always the case. So if it's your grandmother, viewers, don't take it personal. She might just be super independent. You know, I can
Hmm.
see me being like that. But it just crosses my mind because it's just like, you know, I just think about
What'd you
people
do
I
to
love,
somebody?
you know,
Hmm.
people I love and how I'm loved. And there's no way, you know, my grandmother is in Alabama.
Hmm.
You know, my grandmother is, you know, she is very healthy and she can do everything. My grandmother still drives from Alabama to Chicago, you know, she still does all of that. But if it gets to the point as to where she is, you know, unable to take care of herself, I'm on the first thing smoking.
Hmm.
I mean, I'm on the first thing smoking. She gonna have to call a DEA to get me. And I know
I know
my
that's
grandmother
right.
be like, I don't need nobody to do. I know she would be like that.
Hmm. Hmm.
I know she, but you know, it's like, you know, you took care of me. Now it's my turn.
Now it's my
It's my
turn.
turn.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's my turn. Let me take care of you. Don't don't think that I'm doing this for it's a motive behind it. No, it's genuine. You took care of me. Now it's my
Yeah,
turn.
now
You
it's my
know.
turn. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's how it's supposed to
And
be.
my granny took care of me. You know, like
Yes.
I remember one time because you know how cold it gets in Chicago.
Ooh, jeez. That's that's a, you know, and being from Ohio, people, Shadon would always say, or one anybody from Chicago would be like, it's cold in Ohio too. I'm like, no, Chicago is a whole different type of cold. That
Yeah.
if you downtown, in the winter, it's like somebody is cutting your face with a razor. Like,
Yes, yes.
and then
And
y'all
when we were
summertime is
kids, it was
only a
worse.
month, so
Yeah, when we were kids, it was worse. But I remember my granny would get up. I would hear her in the morning, right? It would already be kind of warm in the house, but for whatever reason, the bathroom is always kind of like cold.
mm-hmm.
My grandma would get up. She would run a hot shower, not for me to get in it, but to heat up the bathroom.
Mm.
So when I got up to get dressed in the morning, brush my teeth, whatever, it was warm in the bathroom. And
Ain't
my
that
bowl of
love?
oatmeal and my clothes laid out. So it's just like, I just feel like I have to return the favor. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? But, it's just, it's no question. And the thing about it is, like I said, my grandmother has her ways, but if she was just like super toxic, because I have another grandmother and I love my grandmother to death, but we don't have the relationship that me and my mom's
Mm.
mother had.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So, it's kind of like, okay, I would be there for her too, but just being for real, I know who's beck and call, who I'm
Yeah.
running to,
Yeah. And with
and
people like that, you just got to get that situation to God.
yeah,
And just because we have to stop feeling that way just because a person is going through something or doing
yeah,
that, we have to be
yeah,
there. If that
yeah,
person has not, I can't. All I can do is pray for you at the end, is pray for your health and pray for your, pray, that sickness away from you. But I don't have to be there.
I don't exactly.
I don't,
My
because
presence is
you can
not a
still
must.
very well on your sick bed be that nasty person. Just because you're sick physically don't mean that you done just healed mentally. That don't mean that sickness ain't moved all that nastiness out your body. So,
No, Lord, you preaching to the choir right now.
yeah. So, I don't.
Hmm.
I ain't doing that.
Yeah. So y'all stop it. Stop it. I mean, it's enough going on in the world. We lost all these people due to, this pandemic. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, you know, it touched so many of us. How you don't recognize or you don't even think about things until it happens to you. And there's so many of us that this thing get hit home, whether a
Hmm.
person was just sick or a person passed on from it. You know what I'm saying? Like you said earlier, life is too short. You know what I'm
It
saying? And don't
is.
get me wrong, everybody is not going to be happy. Not going to be chipper. But when we were talking about people being different, we were not saying, well, yeah, there are gonna be some that are gonna be sad, mad, glad. No, that's not what we mean by
That's not
that.
what
You know what
me.
I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's not what we
Yeah.
mean by that. Look, search for your happy. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? Search for your happy. Search for that space. Even those people. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because we have people who just that we are sometimes around, and of course we can't be around them all the time, but get you a person. You know what I'm saying? A
Hmm.
person. Write shit down. Your frustrations. Like help yourself, as much
Yeah.
as you can, and
Yeah.
then, seek that outside help because a
Yeah.
lot of us need it. A lot of us are traumatized from things that we have went through as children. You know what I'm
And that
saying?
we're just
PTSD.
that you just
Yeah.
throw it in the back of your mind with a sheet over it. That's not good, because
It's
what happens is that shit comes out, and you affected. Like I said earlier, you running around scaring all these people.
mm-hmm.
Because you ain't when they got the help you needed. And you can't. It comes a time where you can't blame it on your childhood no more. Okay, you're an adult now. Go get.
Yeah.
You can do it on your
Right.
own. You don't
Right.
need
It's
a
no
parent.
excuse for you
You
being
don't need
shitty.
a parent to take you. If you feeling
Yeah.
these ways, if you got these feelings inside of you that you can't fight off, and you know that you losing all these relationships around you, go talk to
Yeah.
somebody and figure out what you
Yeah.
got to do.
Because sometimes you have to go back to the reason why you know began or why you were in a relationship in the first place, and
Hmm.
at some point you liked this person to a point as to where you wanted to be with this person.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, now because things go bad, nothing lasts forever. But if this is just like a pattern,
Hmm.
and once again you are the most common denominator, you got to
Hmm.
take a look at yourself.
Yeah.
It's 10 of
Absolutely.
us. We don't know each other from a can of paint, but we are all saying the same thing.
Exactly. Hmm.
Like, come on now. You know what I'm saying? You gotta, it's some truth to it. Take it for what it's worth. You don't like the ridicule because you're toxic and you're perfect,
Hmm.
but it's some truth
You
to
got to
it.
be able to take constructive criticism. You have
Yeah.
to. You have
Hmm.
to. You if you ask them all the compliments you want, you got to be able to take the constructive criticism as well.
Absolutely, absolutely, and it's just in most cases, it's for your good. In most cases, it's for your good. I mean, sometimes people can be malicious, but in most cases, it's for your good. That's just how I feel.
Absolutely.
That's what I would hope. That's what I would hope. So like the toxic shit, and toxic people know that they are toxic.
Hmm.
In most cases, like you said, they have the toxic cheerleaders or they have a toxic crew.
Absolutely. Oh
Where
yeah.
you have groups of friends, they fight each other. I have been friends with the same people for decades, and I would never.
Ain't
That
that
is not.
crazy?
Yeah, that's not a
Fighting a
part
friend?
of
That's
a friendship.
wild. Like,
That's. I
like
mean,
I said, we argue, that it's different, but to the point where we're fighting, that's
fighting,
crazy.
airing out personal business, like no, don't
Yeah,
you don't low blow or you don't do those type of things to people who you care about. You
exactly.
shouldn't. It shouldn't even cross your mind to do those kind of things. You know what
Hmm.
I'm saying? So
Yeah,
it's
it should
just
never
like,
even come up. It should never be a thought.
yeah, it's just like check yourself. So I knew that the conversation with you and I was gonna flow. I knew it was. So I'm gonna hit some of those bullet points that I hit, and you can wrap us up. Okay, that works for you.
Works for me.
Okay. So 17 signs that you are toxic. People feel worse about themselves after they have spent time with you. People avoid you or disappear out of your life for good.
Mm.
You are highly critical and you think you are superior to others. Everybody's hating on you, you know. You are controlling or emotionally manipulated. And those are those, that, when I was a kid, I didn't have and I didn't. You
Hmm.
are 40. Quit it with the
Grow up.
shenanigans. Quit it with the shenanigans. You never apologize or admit that you're wrong. You seek to blame others for everything. I don't care what it is. It's everybody else's fault. You take advantage of other people's kindness. You humiliate people to gain favor of the crowd. You crack, these malicious, morbid jokes, about your
Hmm.
friends, and you
Yeah.
hold grudges. You hold grudges.
Hmm.
Let that shit go.
Let it go.
Seriously,
Life is too short.
everything is personal, and this goes for those people when you post, a random status and they just swear you're talking about them. Those toxic folks. Hmm.
Be
You
like,
don't
I wasn't even
celebrate
thinking about you.
right, but if the shoe fits.
Right.
You don't celebrate the success of others, and you have some
Mm.
toxic people that will act like they are applauding, but they will all that yeah, that's a nice car, but I mean he could have
Or
did this if
you
you
know those people you tell your good news to and they get quiet on the phone. Or
oh
they
yeah.
change the
Hmm.
they change the subject. Oh, you didn't
Yeah.
see such and such on TV last night? Damn, I just told you I
Hmm.
got a new car.
Or they flip the conversation to something about them. That's a
Hmm.
toxic trait to me too.
Oh
If I'm
yeah.
if I'm talking to
That's a
you and I'm
narcissist.
venting or
Hmm.
something, very this guy said that in the comments that those are traits of a narcissist as well. They never compromise. They cannot be trusted to keep a secret because what they're gonna do, you can tell them your darkest secret and they're gonna use it against you.
Yes.
Let me see. They use peer pressure to make people do things that they want them to do. With those yes men and yes women that
Hmm.
shit there, and their moods are all over the place.
That's it
And
right there.
I've seen this in one person. That's why I kind of stem out this article, and I'll post the articles like after the podcast or whatever if somebody wants to go back and take a look
Yes.
at them. But this is for a conscious rethink.com. So it's unconsciousrethink.com. That's where I got 17 signs that you may be toxic or that you are toxic pretty much. And like I said, I've seen these characteristics, these traits within one person.
I have as well.
Within
I,
one person.
I've seen all of them in one person.
Mm-hmm.
It's not uncommon. It's not
It's
uncommon.
not.
It's
It's
I've
not.
seen it.
It's
Absolutely.
unfortunate, and we love them anyway. But
Absolutely.
Chat.
Absolutely. Well, I enjoyed this conversation. This was
Me too.
everything.
We have to do it again. We
We
have to do
definitely
it
do.
again.
We gonna do it. We gonna, we like to laugh, so we gonna have to lighten the topics up
Yeah,
because we gonna
definitely.
have to cut
We
out.
don't always have to be Malcolm X and
Yeah,
Dr. King.
yeah. We gonna.
So we are gonna collab on some. So you know what? I want to see you. I would love for you to do some do's and don'ts.
Ooh, I can write
I
them
would
down.
love for you to do some do's and
We
don'ts.
could
I
do
would
that.
love that. I
We
would
could do
love
that.
that. Yeah.
We could
So
definitely do that.
y'all will see this again because, like I said, I honestly believe we had a conversation about a podcast way before I even
Yeah,
started doing this.
yeah, yeah. It was a
Yeah.
while ago. It was a while ago. We had talked about.
Yeah.
I
So
think was it you had came to Ohio, I think, and I was in Ohio. I
yeah.
think. Remember that day? That day was me and you. We went to that chicken place in Dayton. I took you to.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
was in the car. Yeah,
Burger
yeah.
Master. Yep. Burger
Yeah.
Master. Yep. We was.
So
Yep.
yeah, definitely, folks. You guys will see him again because he is a riot. I love him.
I love you.
Every time is a good time. A decade of good times. So that's
Yes.
how you know it's really good people out here.
It
A
is.
decade of good times, and we all go through our shit, but just a decade of good times, you know. And I love him to death.
And
I
I
love him to
love you.
death.
You know,
I love him
every
too.
time.
So yeah,
Every
you
time.
toxic folks, cut it out. Cut it out.
Get you some
Start
help.
calling. Yeah, get you some help.
Get you some help.
Start
It's
calling
okay.
people out on their shit, but in a
Go
loving
talk
way.
to somebody.
Yeah.
I've done it before. Let me tell you, that is the best. Having a therapist is the best. It don't mean you crazy. It don't mean
Mm-hmm.
you crazy at all. Like it's just great with those people, how they're able to get you to open up and in ways that hadn't been able to open up before. Like do
Mm-hmm.
that. It's oh God, that's the best being able to talk to someone.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm probably gonna connect with you, and we probably look because I know you guys probably have a friend that's offered to some form of therapy, whether it be just some regular counseling or whatever.
Hmm.
And like we'll revisit this and see if we have some people. See if we have some people who might want to talk, ask them some questions or whatever.
Yes,
But
let me
like you
know.
say, the next time we get together, we will lighten the topic
And we gonna have
because I
we
want to
gonna act
go.
up.
I definitely want to go there with you.
We
So
gonna act up.
yeah, we will lighten the topic. Thank you guys for tuning in. I always by tomorrow you guys will be able to. You can always view it on our Facebook Lives on either my page or theirs
Yes, I'm
because
gonna
it
save
should
it
be
to my
shared to
page.
both pages. And I also have the app, the podcast app, on either the Android or the iPhone. I share the link so that you can download it. And if you're just driving and you want to listen to it, you can.
Well, perfect. Again, thank you for having me. Like the other day when I was like, I gotta get on there. So
Oh, and I was excited because I'm like, yes, long overdue.
yes,
So
yes.
yeah, we we like I said, we're gonna get together to with the whole counseling thing, and then the next topic. I mean, you can let me know what you want to do, and
We gonna
we can call
collaborate
it
on
the
some
Dad
shit.
Show.
Yeah,
Okay,
we gonna
all
collaborate on
righty,
some shit.
all
All
righty. I
right,
love
y'all.
you again,
I
and you
love
have a
you.
great night. Thank
All
y'all for
right.
tuning in. Good night.
Take care.
All righty, bye bye.